This week is the unofficial Big Ten against ACC challenge for college football. We used to see this every year in college basketball, but now week 3 of college football, we have 6 Big Ten against ACC games. Let's break them down. First, Virginia, Maryland on Friday night, prime time, Fox Sports 1. The key to this game is Maryland head coach Mike Locksley's ability to create explosive plays in the passing game. That's going to be the key against Virginia's defense, who's given up 49 points and 499 yards to Tennessee, and 36 points and 395 yards to James Madison. This one could be a high-scoring game. Next, we go to Louisville, Indiana. Purdue head coach Jeff Brom heads back to the state of Indiana. I thought last week Indiana quarterback Taven Jackson looked composed, went 18 of 21 for 236 yards. He had explosive plays through the passing game, but also ran for 214 yards. Indiana's going to need to slow the game down and have long, sustained drives against an explosive offense like Louisville's. Now let's go to the Carolinas for Minnesota at UNC. There's lots of hype around UNC after knocking off South Carolina in week 1. My biggest question is UNC's defense. Through 2 weeks, Minnesota looks different with who's under center, but a lot of things remain the same from PJ Fleck Minnesota teams. They run the football and they play great defense. Minnesota ran the ball 56 times for 296 yards and 2 tutties against Eastern Michigan, and I'm looking for a similar recipe in week 3 from the Gophers. Now for Northwestern against Duke. David Braun got his first win as Northwestern head coach after a tough offseason. When teams deal with adversity, there's always the uncertainty of where the season will go. This week's going to be a massive test for Northwestern. Duke is no slouch. They have a great quarterback in Riley Leonard, and they showed it by absolutely dominating Clemson in week 1. I expect this to be a physical football game. Next, let's go to Piscataway, Virginia Tech against Rutgers on Big Ten Network. I'm calling that game, so be sure to tune in at 3:30. This one's going to be a classic. A lot of these players know each other, similar locations, they recruit the same areas, and there's a lot of hype around Greg Schiano's Rutgers program after being 2-0. They look good on offense and defense, and a win against Virginia Tech would certainly have this ship going in the right direction and build a lot more excitement from the outside around this Rutgers football program. Finally, the last matchup of the weekend, Syracuse against Purdue. Purdue had a nice bounce-back win against Virginia Tech in week 2, and first-year coach Ryan Walters deserves credit for getting his team prepared and bouncing back. I'm a fan of what Walters done in terms of roster management, turning that roster over and bringing in a bunch of transfers. I like Purdue and their resume through 2 weeks as opposed to Syracuse, who's only played Colgate and Western Michigan. A win at home in week 3 for Purdue against another Power 5 opponent will go a long way as they start that Big Ten schedule. Let me know in the comments which game you're looking forward to the most in the Big Ten ACC unofficial showdown.